injury-wise, Kevin Hogan still coming back, feels a lot better. We didn't practice him yesterday. Walked through today. He should get a lot of work tomorrow, but feels good. Feels better than he did a week ago. Kevin Anderson will not play this week. Nate Lone is back full speed. Other defensive linemen, Zisha too, and Brendan Scarlett, all feeling good. Don't know if they're 100%. Not sure if anybody's 100%, but they're healthy and feeling good. So that's that.
Coach, Anderson will be missing his third game. Is there any danger he could be out on an extended period of time beyond this?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. We'll see if it's the following game or the game after that. But he's making strides. Looks like he's coming back, and he's moving around and feeling okay. We're just trying to let his body calm down a little bit. But we're not thinking it's going to be the end of the season for him. It should be in the next couple weeks.
You haven't given up, you don't have many sacks this year. These guys don't give up many sacks. What can you do to put some pressure? Just mean more blitzing? What do you do to put some pressure on this freshman quarterback?
Well, that's the hard part. Is he gets the ball out quick. They have a lot of screens and things that they throw the ball out quick, where you need to cover down and respect those. They don't hold the ball a lot. But they also have a lot of runs and a really good running back, a couple of really good running backs. So you got to be careful about trying to blitz them too much and having one of those runs crack you for a big play. So it's about changing up the looks as we typically do. Some measure of pressure, some measure of coverage, but basically make sure everybody plays their responsibilities. And the best way to honestly get a sack is have great coverage and not give the quarterback a place to throw the ball. So it's the back end and the front end working together. But bottom line is we gotta try to slow them down. We got to try to make them punt the ball, maybe get a turnover or two. But I agree, they don't. For a young quarterback, he does a really good job of getting the ball out of his hands, not holding on to it. He'll throw it away when he needs to. A lot of young guys will hold on to the ball and try to make things happen. He's been very well schooled, and he does a really good job of getting the ball out of his hands.
Just considering the way the standings have fallen, and Oregon's lost a couple, and the unbeaten team in the North, is this one of the biggest games you've had since you've been here, head coach?
I never know how to answer that question. They're all hard to measure. Every game, especially every conference game, is always big. And if you win them, then they get bigger. So that's the goal, is to keep finding ways to win games and keep ourselves in position in our conference. Because once again, we try not to get our gaze anywhere outside of our conference. Our conference is tough enough. But now it's a very good opponent that's very athletic and capable of playing really well. So we got to make sure we play our best game.
Coach, when you beat the team 7 straight times, is there a psychological effect of that on either side?
I'm not sure about that. I don't count on it or lean on it. I mean, I talked to our guys about, where were any of our guys 6 years ago? Most people that had a hand in those games aren't on either team. So the big thing is, where are both teams now, and can we be ready to play our best game on Thursday night and have a chance to win? What happened last year, the year before that, doesn't matter. We talked about it with USC. They had beaten us 2 years straight. Okay, we beat them 4 years straight before that, but no previous game ever truly affects the current game. So the real mindset is focusing on what we have to do this Thursday night.
What's the biggest difference you see from usually the last and last Jack?
Just other guys having to step up, and they're doing a good job. I think, you lose Miles Jack and you figure, okay, how are we going to pressure the quarterback? How are we going to make plays? And you see 58 flashing explosiveness and coming off the edge, and you see other linebackers running around making tackles, and they've recruited well. They got a good football team, and granted, Miles was one of the more explosive linebackers in the nation. But once again, they've done a good job of assembling a good football team that's not just dependent on one guy.
Logistically, having a Thursday night game, what's the biggest challenge for you? Do the guys all stay in a hotel Wednesday night? Do you guys go to their classes Thursday day?
We stay in a hotel Wednesday night, and we have our guys contact the professors way ahead of time when we get the schedule, when the guys start classes. And so whatever accommodations need to be made, if they need to take a test, they take it on the road, do they take it late, do they take it early, how do they get those class notes for the classes that they'll miss. So it takes a little work on the front end. And it's, once again, it's not ideal for what we're trying to do here, educating young people. But you make adjustments, and the good teams and the good players and the good people in business know how to adjust and not lose anything on either side, but still get all of our schoolwork done and go play a great football game.
Speaking of night games, I realize that the horse left the barn a long time ago as far as all the night games. You don't even have an afternoon game all year.
Are we allowed to play in the afternoon?
No.
But my question is, does it bother you that your homecoming game is going to be a 7:30 start?
On two sides, once again, you mentioned it. I mean, it is to a certain degree what we have to do. It has a lot to do with TV and how many eyes can get to watch in each game, and there are different time slots that can get the most people to watch, and I understand all that. On the other side, it's difficult because I have three kids, 12 and under. Those are late night football games. We got a lot of guys. Thankfully, we do the day off for our players the day after the game. But we're talking about these guys getting back to their apartments and their dorm rooms at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we know what happens to us. I mean, they're shot the next day. So it's really not ideal. But once again, it's what we have, and we make the best of it and try to counsel our guys on how best to take care of their bodies the next day and get the recovery, but still find a time to get some sleep, get hydrated, and all those things that can help them to be healthy athletes, but also healthy human beings.
I guess I'm looking at it from the standpoint of you're paying fans in the stands, and a lot of them like to, especially on homecoming, like to do things after the game. If it's in the afternoon, they won't have that opportunity.
Oh, there's no question. It's really difficult. It's especially difficult for us because we have a lot of alums that come to a lot of our games from Sacramento, from LA and San Diego, from the Northwest, and that makes it a tough trip, to kind of, to make that trip down and back or in and back. Finding hotel rooms as opposed to having a 2 o'clock game where the people from Sacramento can still get home by 9 o'clock at night. So I know a lot of those people, I hear from these people a lot, that those are difficult decisions to make. Maybe I can't make the game. My kid has an 8 o'clock in the morning Sunday soccer game, and I can't make a 7:30 football game. So those are difficult. But once again, as you said, the horses left the barn a couple of years ago in that realm, and we deal with the times that we're given.
How would you describe the performance of your special teams so far this year?
I think the coverage units have been outstanding. I think for having a couple of first-time kickers and punters doing a good job of placing those balls and covering down the field, playing responsibilities. Those have been great. I think return-wise, I think we've got multiple dynamic returners that we haven't given a chance to let loose yet. Now, we've gotten a lot of high punts, sky punts, angle punts, rolling punts, rugby punts, partially because of who Christian McCaffrey is and what he's put on film. So that's a sign of respect to a certain degree. But on the ones that we have a chance to return, both kickoff and punt, I think that's been an area that we can improve. And I think Coach Almar's done a great job of changing some personnel and changing some scheme and try to make sure we get a chance to get those guys loose. And Christian had a couple nice kickoff returns last week. You know, and I'd imagine, you know, going forward, we're going to try to see if we can get those guys some more return yards. But as far as the coverage units go, I thought we've been doing a really good job.
Coach, college football world's been rocked pretty hard the last 24 hours. Just curious, as a colleague, your response to both USCs, to Coach Sarkisian and Coach Spurrier.
You know, it's a crazy world we exist in, right? But once again, you know, the things that happen in our profession now, you can't really be surprised. You know, commenting mainly on Coach Spurrier. I mean, for so many years, he's had success, but I think he's also displayed the attitude of, you know what, I'm going to do what I think is right. I'm going to do what I want to do and enjoy my time doing it. And that's one of the things I took from Coach Spurrier, and have a lot of respect for him. And you know, sad to see him leave in this way. But once again, he's going to do it his way, and I commend him for that.
You talk about the job Jim Harbaugh's done in Michigan?
I'd rather talk about our team and our players in our game this week.
Can you talk about the development of Johnny Casper as an offensive line?
Yeah, you know, Johnny started for us last year. Thought he played well. Thought he had a lot of room for improvement. He would say the same thing. And I think both he and Graham Schuler, I think, have both raised their level. Both are playing at a higher level. Johnny's a physical guy, very smart, can play center for us, which he does in short yardage goal line. He does a phenomenal job there. Done a great job as a puller. Been much better in pass protection this year than he was last year. You know, I'm just really excited about the growth that he's made and will continue to make.
Coach, we saw a lot more Trent Irwin in the last game, and he certainly delivered his best game as a college player. I'm just curious as to your thoughts on his developments.
You know, the thing with Trenton, like a lot of our young guys, you know, we're giving him bits and pieces of the offense, letting him come in. He does a great job running routes, does a great job catching the football. Last week, we put him in on run plays. He did a great job blocking. I think he's got a chance to be a very good, complete receiver. I think he's come in and help us to kind of spell our guys. We tell our guys now we have a really good rotation right now. I think Michael Rector's playing really well. I think Devin Kajus is playing really well. Francis Wusu's come in and made some big plays. Rollins Stallworth has had a heck of a year, both catching a couple balls, but blocking down the field and doing all the things we need him to do, and now adding Trenton Irwin to that mix and adding Bryce Mix to the mix as a receiver sometimes and as a running back sometimes. I think there's great camaraderie in that group, to where the older guys celebrate the successes of the younger guys. And as much as we as a coaching staff are trying to get Trenton used to it, the older guys are putting their arm around him also. And they high-five him when he comes off and makes a play. So I think we have a really, really good feeling in that room that we have a good group of guys that can all help affect the outcome of the game.
How do you look at Paul Perkins? What do you see when you see him up to?
You know, he's Stephon Taylor-like. You know, where you look at him and you can't find anything that he can't do. Is he quick enough? Yes. Can he run through arm tackles? Yes. Can he make a guy miss? Yes. Can he make a big play? Yes. You know, can he get you the tough yards on the third and short? Yes. And I don't know why. For some reason, his name just doesn't get brought up when you talk about the best backs in the nation or the best backs in our conference. But when you put the film on as a football coach, you say, gosh, that should have been 2 yards and he got 6 yards. You know, that's a sign of a good back, when they get more yards than a play's blocked for. And his numbers aren't as big as they have been, but you see a really, really good running back that you're going to look up, and he's going to have, you know, 8 years in the NFL, whatever. And the average for more than the average for running backs is because he also doesn't take a lot of big shots. They talk about the lifespan of a running back, you know, with all the pounding. This is one of those guys that you might be able to tackle him, but you don't get a lot of big hits on him because he's quick and he's shifty and he's got really good body control. So I know we have a lot of respect for him because, you know, once again, he gets more yards than each play's blocked for.
And how do Peyton and Duarte stack up against, the combinations of receivers that you face in the backfield?
That's tough to say how they stack up. I mean, Peyton in particular, he's doing it for years. You know, he just makes highlight catches. He makes big plays and critical downs. He's a red zone threat. He's a run after catch threat. You know, they use him on their double moves and their screen and goes, and you know, he's been a big play receiver for them for years. And you know, I give Josh a lot of credit for finding these guys and giving them catchable balls. You know, that's the thing about being a young quarterback. You got to have some guys to lean on, and he's got a great running back to lean on and some really good big targets to lean on in the receiving world. That he's give those guys chances to make plays, and they can make plays for you.
I don't know if you saw, I think one of those, somebody tweeted a shirt that they have selling in the student store that has all of your expressions when you're happy, sad, and it's all the same thing. And I know before you've talked about keeping an even keel on the sideline. I was wondering if you're aware of the shirt that they're selling in the student store.
I've seen the shirt. and I've seen it online. My wife gets a great kick out of it. You know, and I'll be honest, I'm loosening up a little bit. Give a lot of credit to Ronnie Harris for that. But as usual, but for me, you know, I'm in the game, always thinking about the next thing, and my expressions, or I should say, my expression, singular, because apparently there's only one. You know, I think it's all in good fun. I appreciate that.
Why Ronnie Harris?
You know, Ronnie is expressive. Ronnie's energetic. And I told Ronnie a year ago, you know, part of his role on the team is to get people juiced up. I mean, he's responsible for the juice. And, you know, starting at the end of last year, he did it to me. You know, he got me riled up. He got me energized. And I'm always telling the guys to show their emotions and show their passion. And, you know, kind of Ronnie flipped it back on me and asked me to do the same thing. And so there have been times this year to where I haven't held back and I've shown my emotions. And I think it's been a healthy thing for the team and for me. But I do like the T-shirt, though. I don't have one yet, but I have seen it.
I know you expected the season to be a little crazy, but you're looking around the league. The Washington schools, both one on the road as huge underdogs, and Cal's up and Oregon's down. And has there been a result that really has surprised you yet, or any kind of development?
It you know, I'm not Nostradamus, right? None of us are, but I mean, when the Pac-12 coaches got together, both in Arizona last spring for the meetings, and then again Pac-12 media days, we all kind of talked about it. I mean, we all kind of look around the league and we say, man, I mean, there are a lot of good football teams. There are a lot of dynamic playmakers on each team that can change games by themselves, both offensively and defensively, and in the kicking game. And week to week, whoever plays well is going to win. That's just how it is. And so I can't say that it's truly shocked me. You know, the score for the Utah-Oregon game was probably the most surprising thing. And not that Utah won. Not at all. I mean, I think Utah, we've been saying it for 2 years, Utah can beat anybody in the nation. A big physical team that can run the ball and have a quarterback that can make plays, and they play great defense. That's our formula, right? And that formula wins football games. So, but once again, you look at Oregon, and Oregon get on a run here. They've got the athletes, they've got the scheme, on both sides of the ball. It's a week-to-week league. You never know what's going to happen each week.
Anything else, Coach? Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.